Let's get cracking, everybody. What's going on? This is a couple of webinars here we're going to do with some members of the Steam Room. And as you guys know, the Steam Room here is the chat application that we use at Sanglucci and Wall Street Jesus. And you know, the interesting thing is that, and again, like anybody who's a member in here and you know, who sees me talking in here, who sees Wall Street Jesus talking in here, like, you know, we run a pretty tight ship. I mean, I'd like to say we do, and we try to make sure that it's very centered on trading and not on a lot of noise and stuff like that. So we start to get to know people in the chat room pretty well. I mean, think about it. We spend what? 8 hours a fucking day with each other. We spend actually even longer than that. So people are sitting in the chat room for, you know, even in the nighttime. So even the last night, there was a lot of activity because the futures were tanking completely. You know, of course, I've been waiting for this short to happen. So again, we spend a lot of time with each other, even though we don't see each other. We get to know each other. We get to know each other's strategies. We get to know, you know, how each other is doing. We can kind of tell even from sentiment and tone in the text. I mean, again, like Google, I think has it figured out, but we haven't really. I don't think any chat rooms really have it ported into their applications yet, where we can start to sense tone and things like that. But we know when somebody's having a good day, somebody's having a shitty day, when somebody needs to take a step back. And enter a gentleman who's been with us for quite some time, and I've seen his growth, you know, since he's come in here, develop his own strategy and things like that. And again, I love to see stuff like that in here, because the problem is that most people don't want to do the work. I mean, I think you guys can all admit. I mean, even for you guys that are even hopping in chat rooms, hopping out of chat. How many of you guys are in chat rooms right now? I mean, if you're not in mine, let me know, like, whose other chat room you guys are in and how long you've been in there. Like, are you guys, you know, always a member of a chat room? Do you feel like you need it? You know, and do you have, let's say, a sort of community of traders that you trade with? You know, something that I'm curious of as well. Some people don't even feel like they need it, you know, which is totally respectful. Sometimes I even disappear too. So I'm not even in there as well for an extended period of time. You know, but you get to know people. You get to know people. You get to know the ones that are really going to make it. You get to really know which ones are going to end up making it, which ones are going to end up putting in the work. And the gentleman here that we're about to bring on here is that guy. And I'd like to just get an interview in on, you know, basically how he started out and basically how he's using the platform to help him out, and then maybe in the future where he's trying to go. So with no further introduction here, this guy's name in our chat is Brown20man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, give us your name and you know, where you're from and all that. And apparently you ski as well, so I want a story there too. So go ahead and intro yourself, man.
Yeah, thanks, Lucia, for having me. Everyone knows me as Brown, like you said in the room, and
Yep.
it's funny that
Because
I
he
was
is
watching.
brown. I mean, he is brown. We're
And
both
I'm
brown.
a man. I'm sure
Well,
a lot
he's
of
brown
people have questions about how the Brown20man came through, but that was during the Air Force when I was first deployed,
wow.
and yeah. So that's how the Brown20man. I was 20, like you said, I'm brown. I'm a dude. So
So
that's how
you can
that came
fly.
across.
You can fly a jet. Is that what you're telling me right now? So you can.
No, brother. That's what everyone thinks, when you go to the Air
Okay.
Force, everyone's a pilot. But I was in
Okay.
logistics, and
Okay.
yeah, when I was deployed, one of my boy, gave me a book that his dad given him was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I didn't know anything about finance, and it
Right.
really stuck with me.
Right.
And after got out of the Air Force, one got a degree in finance. And school, it's all about fundamental, and they all always shit it on technical. So
Right. Right. Right.
like you kind of do with me sometimes in the room.
Indeed. Indeed.
um, so yeah, past that, I mean, I learned about all the fundamental analysis investing, but I was more drawn towards like day to day. In reality, if everything based off fundamental, then all the stocks should only move 4 times a year. Each quarter comes out, you
Right,
know.
right, right. They should be fairly priced. They should be fairly priced, and there should be no actual movement and all that kind of stuff. So, how'd you figure out what was the light bulb that went off for you that was like, oh shit, this shit's moving every day?
Well, I mean, like everyone else, I was following a bunch of gurus and getting alerts where,
Okay, which
you
gurus,
know,
bro? Let's throw them out there, man. Throw them out there. Which
okay,
gurus?
so
Like, what
I
alert?
started off with investment, Schaefer's investment research.
Schaefer's, yeah, man. They were
Yeah,
old
like I
school.
mean,
They were one of the first ones. Yeah,
yeah, and a couple of those, you hit a home run, and but most of them, it's like you don't make shit. But
right.
that I wasn't about that. I wanted to learn about how all these worked, and none of those alerts, so-called, they, you're gonna make 500% every week or whatnot, ever taught me anything. And I think, honestly, to be honest with everyone, I don't even know how many times I blew up my accounts. I've been at this game, I swear, for almost
Well,
eight
we
years
want to
now.
know those stories, you know. We want to know those stories. So, how many times, and what'd you start out with, you know? Because there's a lot of people that obviously that go through that. We see them come in and out of the chat room, you know, every single day as well. They might be there for a week or 2 weeks, and you can see them so excited, and all of a sudden, you know, because of that excitement or whatever, then they just disappear and like, yo, what the fuck happened to this person? So, I mean, how'd it go starting out for you? I mean, obviously it was pretty stressful. You blew up a couple accounts. I mean, what made you stay?
I did, and I honestly, like, I didn't know what I was doing wrong. Then it's funny, thanks to my wife, she actually bought me Groupon Bulls on Wall Street, one of those
Nice.
yeah, Canals thing, and
Nice. Yo, we were
yeah.
actually gonna do the promo with him. We were actually gonna do a Groupon deal with him because he was the one that was trying to get us to do it as well. But I was like, nah, man, I'm not gonna end up doing it. But that's crazy. That's great. So you
Yeah,
started
that
with
was
Bulls. I love
yeah,
Canal too. He's a good dude. He's a good
yeah,
dude. I
that's
like.
my first teacher. And after I'd
Okay.
done this Groupon thing, then I did the whole boot camp with him, and I started learning about price action, how technical analysis work.
Right.
But anyone can learn this shit. This is easy. But
Yep.
like he always used to preach, that everything you do in life, doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna have to put in the work.
Right.
And just like I've been at this for almost 8 years, looked at charts of 1,000+ years,
Right.
and I love option. I mean, the leverage you get trading options. I, after I graduated Bulls on Wall Street, I actually traded for him some
Okay.
kind of investor's money, blew that account 3 times.
Woo.
Yes, yes. So a lot of people in the chat, think, oh man, Brown's always killing it, but I
Right.
gone through that shit like everyone
Right.
goes through.
Okay.
And but I had to take a step back and realize, or at least learn, what I was doing wrong.
Right.
And until I figured that out, I would just at the same pace, keep losing money, putting
Just
money
keep
in my
losing
account.
money.
Yeah,
Right.
it
Right.
was like, I didn't see the light at the end of it.
So what
um
was it? So what was it? Was it a mental thing? I'm assuming it was totally mental kind of thing, right? I
uh,
mean, you knew how to make money, but you just didn't know how to keep it, kind of thing.
it was. And a funny thing is, this whole game is about money, but as soon as you stop thinking about money and
Right.
just focus on the process,
Right.
and money will start coming in. Like,
Yep.
I
Hmm.
wish I knew how to manage my risk, as strictly as I do now.
Right.
You can't make money every day in the market, but
Right.
if you control the risk, you'll be able to, fight another day.
Right.
And it's easier said than done now that I look back at it. But those are like the best lessons I learned,
Indeed.
in my trading career, from all the losses.
Indeed.
So
How did you find us, bro? How did you find me? How did you find, how did you find this community? And let's start
so
there with that story.
Yeah, I think you done a video or some classes with Kanal in the past, and I think, before we got cut off, you were talking about chat with traders.
Yep.
If no one checked that podcast out, I'd highly recommend it. You'd surprise how many
Definitely.
things you learn from each of the traders. And I listened to your story, and one of my favorite book is The Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. And
Yeah, that
one
book was
thing,
amazing.
that hasn't changed since this whole market, open, and, buying and selling and supply and demand, is tape reading. Since then, we're all technical traders or tape readers or whatever. But that's one thing that still stick to this day, and that kind of got my attention. And I started researching you. Then I joined the room. Um, it took me a while though, to get used to the room because there are a lot of info and a lot of excellent resources, great traders that are in there that taught me so much, since I've been there. Um, then, of course, starting to, you know, uh, uh, learn about Jesus and how he trades.
Right.
Before that, I never looked into the whole sentiment side of it. And now that's my part of everyday tools that he goes over, along
Right.
with taking your master course tape reading.
Right.
Another big thing actually that made me get over this was, it may sound some simple to some, but psychology.
Right.
In this game, I think that is the hardest thing.
Right.
You are your worst enemy.
Right.
uh, but taking your class definitely helped me overcome some of that. um,
Yes, yes, absolutely. And guys, like that's one of the things that I focus on the most in the course as well. Most of it is centered on psychology. A lot of it is centered on really deep stories of issues and problems that a lot of traders have. Things that I've seen over the years too. And guys, it's all relative. I've seen $20 million, $100 million traders blow out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're here talking about blowing out $5,000 accounts, $10,000 accounts. There's people that blow out funds all the time, and that's a lot of money we're talking about. People get margin call, force covered on a move like this because you're so over levered long, or you're super over levered in a group of stocks, and these things just blow up, and that's it. You're done. So there's failures of all types. So don't think you're out there by yourself, I guess is my point. We've all
100%.
kind of went through it. We've all went through it. I went through the same shit. He went through the same shit. And we're all here together trying to figure out how we can be better and how we can, and get a little bit more control of some of the emotions. So my next question, I guess, is what's your strategy? Let's talk a little bit about your strategy. I mean, I notice a lot that you go for, out of the money kind of scalp plays when, a lot of the volatility kind of comes out and you play a lot of cheaper options, than somebody like myself. But I honestly don't even know what the fuck you're doing. So tell everybody like what your strategy is.
Yeah, so unfortunately I don't have a big account like you, but one day I'm sure I will.
You
So
will, you will.
yeah, I got to play those cheap options to take advantage of that, double baggers or
Yeah,
however many baggers y'all see me do.
right,
But my risk is so low that I can take multiple of those type of trades.
right,
So first, I'm very confident with my technical analysis. That's how I learned first. After getting my ass beat time
okay,
over time, I learned what works and what doesn't.
right,
And I don't chase things, and I wait for the right moment intraday wise to get in, or
okay,
when everyone is nervous or doesn't want to get in,
right,
I will throw a little bit of filler in there just to see how it acts. And if
right,
it's working towards my way, I'll slowly position size into it. My
right.
my I do the best within the first hour and a half to two. And I
Because there's
literally
good
should
enough
just
momentum in there. There's good enough momentum in there. Can you give us a quick example of just like one trade that you ripped this morning? Like, give us a quick example. What is it? Was it a
um
spy put or something like that? Just give us something real
so
quick.
yesterday might have been the spy puts. Today, honestly, I only traded, TLRY on the
Okay.
short side of it.
Okay. Okay.
Then once I saw the tape start picking up and
Right.
it was holding certain level, I flipped it, then I
Okay.
went long it.
Okay.
Um, but I only got that TLRY on the short side literally within the first 10, literally 5 minutes actually. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
use a lot of pre-market
Right.
data as well too, along
Sure.
with the first 30 minutes to an hour. I will watch the 1 minute chart and I base it off that. But it's meant
Okay.
to be just in and out scalp, and
Yeah.
I'm not stuck to it. um
Can you give us like what option did you like when you went long this TLRY? How far out of the money did you go on this thing to find a cheap enough option here?
So I did the 130. I'm sorry. I did the
The
130.
130. Okay.
Yep, I
Okay.
believe my average was like 135 or 150 somewhere. Then I ended up closing it out like 275 maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
but that's not, I'm not really, that was just nothing to I guess be proud about. But I y'all see me take these crazy lottos,
Right.
like
But you're doing it with like a small amount of your account too, correct? So you're
oh
just
yeah,
really taking.
it's less than a percent. Like for instance, I think 2 weeks ago, I think I was
Right.
talking in the room.
Right.
One thing I guess I do have, advantage of that. I don't worry about commission, execution
Right.
fee, through Veterans Trade Station, whatever it is, and I'm
Yep.
able to take this cheap penny
Right.
options. I had like
Right.
100 of those, so my risk was $100. And
Right.
next day, as soon as at 9:33 a.m., I closed them for 12 cents or $1,200 off $100. I mean,
Right.
you know what I mean? So like, I
Right.
mean, but I'll
So
survive if I
question.
lost that $100.
Yeah, so question, and guys, like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, bro, but to me, like you have to have a real solid understanding of how options are priced in order to pull off what you're able to do, correct? I mean, you got to be able to
Absolutely.
come in. You have to be able to come in when that vault comes out and nobody else fucking wants that option. Like when that
Ex-
option is worthless and nobody fucking wants it and nobody's even looking at it or talking about it, that's always when I see you sniping in and being like, yo, I'm going on this thing right now. I'll be like, why the fuck? And then boom, like the thing will reverse or whatever, and you'll get the juice as long as there's momentum on that far out of the money option. So
yeah.
it's interesting.
Oh yeah, whenever I trade, I have like usually three different types of trading. One just pure speculative, it's a lotto, the degenerate in me, which was like the G example. Then,
Yep.
if I'm you know, day trading, then I'll position size into it, and I'll treat that option contract as literally the same chart you would treat on that actual symbol
On the
itself.
actual stock. You're right, exactly. Okay. So
Exactly.
you're using a lot of options charts as well. So you're looking at ranges of these charts too, and then seeing where, generally speaking, it's like, all right, this thing is at the low end. Nobody fucking wants this thing.
Absolutely, but before I even come to even look at the option chain, like I
Right.
gotta, trust my chart and my
Right.
price action, based on all
Sure.
the tapes where I see, and I think this
Sure.
is gonna go at this level. So based
Sure.
on that, I'll either get in the money or the one away, one strike over from the money.
One
Uh,
strike over. Okay. How many of these things are you managing at one time? I feel like with this particular strategy, you can do fucking 20 of these things. Can you?
you can, Lucci, but I feel like whenever I have honestly more than five, then I
Yeah.
can't give it my 100%,
You
and
can't. You
then
can't. Okay.
yeah, then I don't get the most meat out of that bone that I could have,
Definitely.
and so I learned over my years that less is more. Like today, all I played was TLRY, McDonald's, and
Right.
I think that was it. And just because I was busy at work today, I only was there for half day, so I didn't do much.
Right.
And it
Well,
was
so not to cut you off, my bad. So that's the next thing I wanted to throw out there. So you still have a day job, bro. I mean, like, give me. Am I
oh,
am I wrong here? You got a day job.
oh yeah, I have a full-time day job, man, and
He has a fucking full-time day job, man. Like, what is your day job, and how the fuck are you able to do this while you're
uh,
working?
So I am a project manager slash project controller. Doing for government contracting. Manage about up to 170 mil,
In
and
Virginia, right? I
yeah,
got another dude. He's Gujarati. He does the same fucking thing. He does project management for government contracts. The same
that's
shit. He's
all.
asking me about trades all fucking day. You fucking junkies, man.
I'm extremely lucky and fortunate to
Right.
be where I'm at with my job and everything. I don't like to hop around jobs. It's only my second job in the last 8 years, but
Sure.
I always take care of my job that needs to be done. But
Right.
I get up at 4:35 in the morning every day so I can get all my shit done so I
Right.
can trade, because that's what motivates me.
Wow, that's special, guys. You guys hear that? Like this dude, he's who's the celebrity that does that shit? Oh, it's Mark Wahlberg, right? So go follow Mark Wahlberg on Instagram. He has this shit called 4:30 a.m. Club or something. Like he wakes up at 4:30, busts his ass to the workout, does all his work before the kids get up and his wife gets up, and then when they get up, he's just there to be with his kids and be with his family. But by the time they wake up and like they're about to start their day, he's fucking done. Like he's done with all his shit, and he's good to go. The guy goes to sleep at like 7 o'clock. So you're waking up at 4:30. What are you doing at 4:30, bro? I mean, what you're doing the work for the day job? Are you also working out, or like what is your process in the morning?
So I mean, that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Like
Sure.
before leaving the house, like doing something small, like after waking up, like making your bed. I mean, that may sound as corny as hell, but like you accomplished something for the day. Like, you know what I mean? You're already like in that positive mindset. What I do usually when I wake up, and I make sure my son is taken care of, and I pray before I leave, and I get in my Zen mode, and clear all the bullshit out, and I don't think anything about anything, and whatever I need to take care of before market opens, I will go to work and make sure those things are taken care of. And I usually play the handful of stocks, so I already know how they behave, what range I'm trying to get long or short, vice versa. So it's not like I have to sit. I don't even know when was the last time I ran a scan, to be honest with you. I don't run scans. There's
Right.
only a handful of stuff,
Right.
that I play, all day long, every day. Like
Right.
SPY is one of my favorite. Unfortunately, I missed the SPY long side today, but shit happens. As
Yeah,
I'm
I did
maturing
too.
as a
Whatever.
trader,
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. Oh, I missed the trade. I missed, that was old me. But
That
I
was
think
old you, right? That was the old
exactly, as you mature as a trader, it's like, okay, like one day I think I remember I hit you up on your PR, and
you. Yeah.
yo, Lucci, this AMD is tanking. He's like, yo, dude, there's money to be made every day. I was like, that's baller. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. And that little things like that. It's like, you're absolutely right. So does Ranchero. Like one of the dudes that helped me the most since I've been in the room. I mean, I think big help to him where I'm at, honestly. Like this dude,
Yeah.
make sure I'm on track.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
great.
but
That's great.
yeah, I don't chase anything. I don't care if I miss something. Before I would be mad or but upset if I like didn't get additional more gains. It's like whatever,
Of
man. I made
course.
money or I stuck
Of
to a plan.
course.
Another thing, you got to have a plan before you enter anything. A lot of the time people will get in a trade, then you're like, oh, yo, I'm up like 60% or whatever, when should I take profit? Well, what was your plan to begin with? What was your target? What was your risk? So when you have a risk and okay, this is what I'm gonna risk, this is what I'm gonna make, then all the emotions come out,
Right.
and
Right.
it should be systematic trading. When you involve emotions, you just bound to like do stupid shit.
Right. I mean, ironically enough, guys, like when you're feeling shitty about missing a trade or you got all that FOMO and stuff, that's when the rules go out the fucking window. You know what I'm saying? That's when you don't have the plan, or that's when, whatever plan that you had just goes straight out the fucking window. Cause now you're just like, well, fuck, I missed this trade. So let me just throw my whole account at this thing because I'm pissed off at the world. And
I've done that.
and we've all done that. We've
Yeah,
all done it. And that's where the problems start happening. And then once one starts happening, boom, it just keeps going, and it's a snowball effect, and that
absolutely.
ultimately leads to a lot of people's fucking demise out here. So it's really just about controlling that and figuring out where you kind of lose it. So if you guys are able to do that, that'll start getting you to the next level here in your trading. All right, so there's a lot of questions that we got here. We'll take a bunch of questions here, but dude, what is your goal? My question, I guess, is like, obviously you got your job here that you're still loyal to. You got the family, and you're trading here aggressively. Like, why are you doing this shit, man? Like, what are we doing this for? What are you doing?
At the end of the day, I think if we didn't say we didn't enjoy the rush, we all be lying and can't really label yourself as a trader.
Indeed, indeed.
Um, but I'm doing this because I want to be eventually stack up enough
Yeah,
that I don't have to worry about anybody. I want to be my own boss or whatever the hell I want to do. That's my
right,
eventual goal. But you know that's the long term shit. But I take day to day. You know
right,
what I mean? My main focus is my son, my wife, my family. Then
right.
I take care of my job and I trade, but eventually I want to just keep stacking where I can
Yep.
just do whatever the hell I want to do. If I want to go shred and
Right.
chase the powder, like you're talking about, I'm a big skier, which I am, and I
I
want to
mean,
be
this
able to
guy,
do
this is the
that.
first, this is the first brown man I've ever heard who said shred and chase the powder. I've never even seen that. Can you do that a lot in Virginia? Is there snow in Virginia?
Oh, come on, bro. Yes, absolutely. I'm actually going in, I think in November, in a month. It's a tradition with me and my boys up at Snowshoe
Okay,
in
okay.
West Virginia that we're going. And, this winter supposed to be pretty gnarly. So we'll find out, man. I don't like to get too excited. Just like
Sweet.
the pre-market action.
Sweet. Okay. Okay. So your goal here is for the freedom per se, to and one of your hobbies here is skiing and all that. Do you have any other, I guess, aspirations as far as like business that you want to do or place that you want to move to, vacation, like what is it that you're chasing after, I guess, that you feel like you don't have right now?
Um, I'm pretty blessed. So I mean,
Yeah.
I have a lot, to be honest, compared to a
Yeah.
lot of folks. So I'm not, trying to be greedy and trying to get more or whatever. It is just
No doubt.
I'm a Leo, so I don't like answering anybody, So I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Just to be frank, and yeah, I want to hang out with my boy as much as possible, give him
Right.
as much time as possible because he's growing up super fast,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and take care of my parents and my family, whatever, I mean, I just do
Cool.
this for, for freedom. Like I'm sure everyone else would, same exact answer, and
Yep.
I think the same goal.
Cool, cool. All right, so we're gonna start taking some questions here, but I would say here, this whole interview here, and again, there's a couple more that we're gonna do. I mean, it just shows the community here. I want you to talk a little bit about this particular community and how some of the people here have helped you, and how we kind of all just kind of work, even though we don't see each other, we can't actually look at each other or whatever, but I always kind of know what's going on. I know what's going on with everybody in here. You know what's going on with everybody in here. How does it feel to be in this particular community, and what would you tell people who aren't in here, about this community? Anything at all?
Oh, dude, I mean, so you were asking, earlier in the beginning of the conversation, who's all been in the chat room. I think this is my third one.
Right, right.
I never felt more home than, like where I'm at right now. Like,
No doubt.
I mean, since I've been in this chat room, I mean, it's insane, like how much my trading, improved. Again, thanks to, I mean, you're gonna start telling me to label each individual, that I may miss someone, then someone's feelings may get
No,
hurt. So I you know what I'm saying. But like, I
the
mean,
chat
overall,
is great.
everybody in that room, man. I mean, it's unreal how much how talented these folks are. And anytime I even reach out to you, or Ranchero, whomever, they're always responds back. And if like Jay, like I honestly, like, Jay, I love that man. And
Yeah.
with that, when he's not on talking live, I
Right.
can't trade well, honestly, dude. Like I really can't. And the funny thing is, when I first started, for the first 2 weeks, I didn't know like there was somebody live, and I'm like, why is everybody talking to some random invisible person or whatever? I'm like, I didn't get that. So MJ, finally told me, yo, Jay's up on online. I was like, oh shit, it's like that literally changed the game. Like he's got Algo Jesus in the background talking, and I
Yep.
made plenty of trades off of Algo Jesus' voice.
Right.
And I don't sit there and think whenever news comes
You
out.
just fire. You just fire.
You have to, you know what I mean? You have to, because I'm a day trader. You
Right.
cannot swing in this fucking market. I've never
Yeah, it's
been good
crazy.
at. Yeah, no, man. I'm a day trader, man. I'm a fucking junkie. I'm not gonna lie, and and I'm good at day trading. I can't hold shit, and unfortunately, I mean, whatever. At least I acknowledge that I'm not good at swing, so I'm just gonna day trade. And right now,
Right.
it's like my heaven, and
Right, right. It's a great
um,
time to be doing it. It's a great time to be doing it. All right, so you actually answered one of the questions that we have here. Let's go ahead and start taking some questions, guys. The first question we have is from one of the folks here in the room here, Option Trader. Tim is asking, how do you incorporate the options flow? So obviously you started listening to Jesus. You're listening to the squawk in the background. You're seeing the flow. what do you like to look at? What
So
flow, I guess, hits you and you're like, oh shit, I got to be involved here.
okay, so yeah, there's few things I look at every single day that Jay posts under either the market updates or the
Yep.
lounge, like
Yep.
aftermarket, like,
Yep.
first of all, the Saturday webinar, it's money, man. Like, like
Right.
if you missed out, whatever, Jay does all the research and everything for you. But
Right.
every day he has the top bets, top spreads, and where the big size order came through and
Right.
who are the multiple sweeps. I look at all those along with all the sentiments that
Right.
Jay preaches. And he was preaching this past Saturday how, guys, we're going to get a squeeze. We just don't know when, but it's going to happen. Be ready.
Right.
Unfortunately, I was not ready for
Right.
that squeeze today. And I hope a lot of the other members in the room were, and they made a bank. But
Yep.
uh, I look at all the shit that Jay posts under market updates, and then
Yep.
every morning when those tweet comes through, like I get an alert every time Jay tweets, and I look at all the
Right.
big size order where it came through. But I don't go
Right.
through every single thing. If it's not within my basket of stocks, I don't really give a
Right.
shit about
You
unless
don't give
I
a
see
shit about it.
multiple
Okay.
sweeps.
Okay.
Multiple sweeps keep coming in and coming in. So there's a
Right.
reason why
Right.
somebody's picking everything up at the ask or whatnot.
Right. Right. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. I got
All
you.
right. I
Okay.
hope
So
that
you
I don't
pretty
know if that answered the option question
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, and by the way, like, I don't think we give enough credit to Wall Street Jesus. Like, he fucking does a lot of work, man. I mean, I don't think he sleeps. I really don't think he fucking sleeps. If you see when he posts on his Instagram, it's like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, and he's talking about put to call ratios and shit, and he's doing all this shit and putting it all out there. It's crazy how much this boy works. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like going back to that Lucci, that like I had three teachers that taught me everything I know. It's Kunal,
Yep.
you, and
Yep.
Jesus, and it's like it's literally that's the only Jesus I believe in.
All
uh,
right, all right.
but you
Let's
guys
get
are
to the
so passionate about y'all's teaching, and like instead of someone starting like I got this to teach you, pay me or whatever it is. But that's what differentiate a lot of the teachers and guru, whatever you want to call them. But I learned a
right.
lot, man, because you can tell who's really want to help and who's not, and Jesus is definitely one of them.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so we got John Finlay here asking a question. If you don't have enough money for the master course, what do you guys think the best way is to learn tape reading? I already took the intro to options course, but if for you, what would you tell this guy for the best way to learn tape reading if he doesn't want to take the master's course? What would you tell
Uh, Honestly, man, save your money on that trading, whatever money you want to put in, and just save it and take that course. Again, man, people are gonna probably take it the wrong way that
him?
TA's
Right.
over here trying to promote, but I'm serious, like because you're gonna learn, man, and eh, I would rather learn instead of keep blowing up accounts like I did.
Right.
That would have been 10 times more expensive.
Right.
As far as tape reading goes, I mean, dude, these days you can Google shit, you can YouTube shit. So I mean,
Yep.
you,
Yeah.
you know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
there's
Yeah.
some free there's some free content out there. If you take a look at my YouTube page, John, like there's a lot of free content out there. But if you really want to do this shit yourself without without doing anything, you got to spend hours just looking at bid and ask, bro. You got to spend hours looking at bid and ask, looking at transactions, and trying to piece it together. The problem with that is, though, again, your learning curve is gonna be a lot longer. And again, if you're willing to put in the work, dude, it's right there. The information is there. I ain't gonna stop you, bro. Steven here is saying, what's your stop loss strategy? Are you letting those sort of lottos go to zero, or are you using technicals to place your exit? So what's your risk parameters here on some of the trades that you're making?
Yeah, so I got like three different types of trades that I usually do, but those lottos that like I post on in the room, those are straight up hero or zero type of shit, and
Yeah.
they're never been over like 200 max app, if that. I usually like to keep it at 150 bucks,
Yeah.
and that's something shit I would probably spend more than on the weekend. So I was like, why not take it on that Friday,
Right.
and but overall, if I have enough size, absolutely technical comes in play along with flow, along with
Right.
where the market is at, along with
Right.
tape.
You see what he just said, though, guys? Like, that's a lot of shit that he piled
It,
in to that particular strategy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys are looking for like, hey, okay, if I see some call flow coming into the queues or whatever, I'll just go ahead and follow it. Like, that's not how the shit fucking works. And unfortunately, the people that come in here, I have to beat people over the fucking head with this stuff. And again, that's just with the nature of the business, right? You're going to have high turnover with, tools like this and everything, especially with a game like this, but at the same time, you guys got to realize there's a lot of other factors that you need to work into your strategy. You need to understand about yourself, about what you're good at, about what you suck at in order to make the right strategy for you. I mean, how long did it take you to build this particular strategy that you felt suits you, your personality, and gets you to where you need to be? I mean, how long did it take you, bro?
Dude, I mean, I think over 5 years.
5 years,
Yeah,
guys.
I'm a slow learner,
Bro. 5 fucking years, man. That's a good amount of time. Are you guys ready to do that shit? Let me know. If you're not, what are we talking about here? All right. So Joey here has another. Joey here saying, I took Bulls on Wall Street class about 2 years ago. Feels good to have somebody in the room who took both courses, no doubt. Eric here, do you have any favorite entry signals or combination of signals for pulling the trigger?
there's
So
no
I don't know.
there's no holy grail setup, man. And
Right.
if you're waiting for
Right.
that,
Right.
you're better off with the Vegas type. There's not particular. I mean, I suck at playing the breakouts to the new highs. I never been good at that shit. And I
I
don't even
noticed.
do that.
I noticed. You know what I love though too, and my bad to cut you off, is like it's like there's things that I know he's much better than I am at. Like this shit that he's doing right now, I can't fucking do it. I cannot fucking do it. And the shit that I do, playing the big breakdowns or swinging short in this fucking market and having to hold through all these goddamn squeezes, like that's what I do. And it's just that appreciation of the fact that, hey, your strategy works for you. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm happy you found that shit, dude. I respect it. I can't fucking do it, but I see you doing it, and it helps you kind of learn different things out there. It's like, oh shit, I see how he did it. Even though I'm not taking it, I'm like, okay, I see what he's going for. And I love that fact. I love that we can see that here in the chat room all the time.
Yeah. Plus, you got way bigger kahunas than I do, brother. You know what I mean? But I always think about that. As you grow as a trader, like I'm started putting size, then I feel like eventually I'm gonna have to change my strategy. I cannot be sitting there playing the lottos that I do, when I'm at a certain level. So yeah, maybe that's something that I'll come back on and talk to you guys about, as I grow. So
Indeed, indeed. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Last question here. We got a question from Edison here. Do you play naked calls and puts at the beginning? If yes, for how long do you have to play like naked plays? I'm not sure if he's talking about writing or
yeah,
he's talking about going long.
yeah, I don't do any kind of writing. I have not yet, but my goal is to start, next year. Ranchero is like my big role model. Eventually, I want to get to like start writing shit on Fridays because I noticed that I suck on
Oh,
Fridays. It's you and Ranchero taking my money when I'm trying to buy that shit. Like I'm like, what, if you can't beat them, join them. That's where I'm at right now. So, but that's my goal. I'm gonna write the shit out of it with y'all.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. And guys, the Ranchero he's referring to, I mean, you can see the guys just talking in here, and you can see kind of how close we all are. Vinny trades here. I've coached personally. Ranchero here. I've coached. He's coached me too personally. Stefan has been in here for the longest time. There's a lot of camaraderie in here, and there's a lot of things that we kind of are able to bounce off each other, and we talk a lot of shit as well. You know what I mean? Because we have to spend this amount of time. We have to spend this amount of time with each other. So it's an interesting kind of environment. And again, I think it also adds a tremendous amount of value for anybody who takes the master course. Because again, you can put it to practice. You can see what everybody else is doing. You can ask your questions. You can DM us. And, we'll try to hook you up as best as you can. But if you out there doing dumb shit, then that's what you're going to get from us too. All of us here, and again, these guys learn from me too. So we're very quick to shut that shit down if we know you're not taking it seriously or you're just being a fucking dickhead. You know, we're very quick to shut that shit down.
Yeah, 100% agree. And top of that, like I can always, whenever your next class is about to be up, I can be in there watching that again. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep,
Like,
yep.
and you got to cut that mental shit, like Lucho was just talking about, man.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So anybody who does take the course too, you guys can take it again and again and again. Ranchero is in there every single time. He's in there every single time. Sometimes it's good to get a refresher. Just sometimes it's good to just kind of pick back up where you left off, and and just get a clean slate kind of thing. All right, guys. So without further ado, let's close things up here, man. What would you, I guess, last thing to wrap it up here? What would you recommend, or what would you say, I guess, best piece of advice for a new trader trying to come up and figure themselves out? I would say more from the mental side.
Um, you can't control this market, or any market at all. Only thing you can control is your risk, man, and
Right.
your entries. Don't chase shit. Wait
Right.
for it. Don't go in the market with the bias.
Right.
Be patient, and this shit takes time. And
No doubt.
instead of trying to be more focused on the money, forget the money piece of it. Trying to figure out the process and who you are as a trader, and see how you can improve from that. If you can control the risk, everything else will follow through.
Indeed, indeed. All right, Tyrod here, Brown Man in the chat room. Hopefully, we guys see you in here. There's a 3-day free trial here too. You can hook it up if you go to wallstreetjesus.com. We have the master course coming up in about a week and a half. So if you guys want the info on that, just go to sanglucci.com /MC. And I think we're giving a little discount, so go ahead and email charlie@sanglucci.com. If you guys want to take a shot at the discount. You got to ask. You just fucking ask for it. You know what I mean? Just ask for it. All right, guys. Take care, and hopefully we'll see you in the room. Again, Tyrod, thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
for
coming.
having me, brother. It's been an honor, bro. Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon, bro.